armies of people training robots? You're going to be surprised at this one. So the subtitle of this article is Tech Giants Tesla, Boston Dynamics, and NVIDIA race to build humanoid robots for a market projected to reach $38 billion within the next decade. And thanks to the LA Times for this story. Now that AI has mastered almost everything we do online, it needs help learning how we physically move around in the world. A growing global army of trainers is helping it escape our computers and enter our living rooms, offices, and factories by teaching it how we move. In southern India, Naveen Kumar, 28, stands at his desk and starts his job for the day, folding hand towels hundreds of times as precisely as possible. He works for a startup that creates physical data used to train AI. He mounts a GoPro camera to his forehead and follows a regimented list of hand movements to capture exact point of view coverage of how a human folds. His firm, a data labeling company called Objectways, sent 200 towel folding videos to its client in the United States. The company has more than 2,000 employees. About half of them label sensor data from autonomous cars and robotics, and the rest work on generative AI. Most of them are engineers, and few are well practiced at folding towels, so they take turns doing the physical labor. The carefully choreographed movements are to capture all the nuances of what humans do. Arm reaching, fingers gripping, fabric sliding to fold clothes. The captured videos are then annotated by Kumar and his team. They draw boxes around the different parts of the video, tag the towels, and label whether the arm moved left or right, and classify each gesture. This is extremely detailed work. Kumar and his colleagues in the town of Karur, which is about 300 miles south of Bengaluru, are an unlikely batch of tutors for the next generation of AI-powered robots. Companies are building foundation models fit for the physical world, said Ulrich Stieg Hansen, co-founder of Encord, a data management platform in San Francisco that contracts with Objectways to collect human demonstration data. There's this huge resurgence in robotics. And as I keep telling my viewers, you have no idea what it's going to be like in the next 5 years. Humanoid robots will start to appear everywhere. Encord works with robotic companies such as Jeff Bezos-backed Physical Intelligence and Dyna Robotics. Tesla, Boston Dynamics, and NVIDIA are among the leaders in the U.S. in the race to develop the next generation of robots. Google has its own AI models for robotics. OpenAI is now beefing up its robotics ambitions. NVIDIA projects the humanoid robot market could reach $38 billion over the next decade. There are also many lesser-known companies trying to provide the hardware, software, and data to make a mass-produced, multitasking humanoid robot a reality. In other words, they're building out a complete supply chain, just like they did to make cars. So that's the kind of manufacturing frequency globally we're looking at on that level. Millions of these. Data on how the physical world works, how much force is required to fold a napkin, for example, is harder to get and translate into something AI can use. And now we start to get to the key points. As robotics improves and combines with AI that knows how to move in the physical world, it could bring more robots into the workplace and home. While many fear this could lead to job losses and unemployment, optimists think advanced robots would free up humans from tedious work, lower labor costs, and eventually give people more time to relax or focus on more interesting and important work. So that last long sentence, I'm going to call BS on that completely, and I'm going to tell you why right now. It's complete BS. First of all, it assumes that there are significant resources available at little or no cost to retrain all the workers disrupted by robotics. Here in the U.S., that doesn't currently exist. So if you're out of work, you're out of work, unless you can figure out how to retrain yourself, which, by the way, you should be able to do with YouTube and Coursera and things like that, but that's a whole video. But the key phrase there is lower labor costs. So even if people keep working, their wages continue to get dumbed down further, which means their standard of living falls. And if they're already in poverty, that's not so great. So BS on what they were just saying. Because here at the AI Guide, my mission from the beginning has been to give you the real facts about what's coming. Many companies have entered the fray as shovel sellers in the AI gold rush, seeing an opportunity to gather data for what is being called physical AI. One group of companies is teaching AI how to act in the real world by having humans guide robots remotely. Ali Ansari, founder of San Francisco-based Micro One, said emerging robotics data collection increasingly focuses on teleoperations. Well, that's better than full autonomy because people have to be running these robots. Humans with controllers make the robot do something like picking up a cup or making tea. The AI is fed videos of successful and failed attempts at doing something and learns how to do it. By the way, would you want a robot in your home that has someone tethered to the other end of it all the time, watching everything that happens in your home? Interesting question. Encore's Hansen said that there are warehouses planned in Eastern Europe where large teams of operators will sit with joysticks, guiding robots across the world. So for me personally, I think that's fine in an industrial or retail or restaurant environment, but not in the house. That's not for me personally. There are more of these, what some have dubbed arm farms, popping up as demand increases, said Mohammed Musa, founder of Deepen AI, a data annotation firm headquartered in California. So data annotation is huge now. I mean, there are probably millions of people doing that work now. Today, a mix of real and synthetic data is being used, gathered from human demonstrations, teleoperation sessions, and staged environments, he said. Much of this work still occurs outside the West, cheap labor. But automation and simulation are reducing that dependency over time. That's a fancy way of saying fully autonomous robots are on the way that don't need people to do all this remote control, which of course they are. Some have criticized teleoperated humanoids for being more sizzle than substance. They are far from fully autonomous. And Ansari's Micro One also does something called human data capture. It pays people to wear smart glasses that capture everyday actions. And by the way, those are going to be everywhere soon. AR telling you directions, converting emails to text in front of your eye. When you're traveling, telling you what all the buildings are you're going by. It's going to be amazing. So they're doing the smart glasses thing in Brazil, Argentina, India, and the United States right now. San Jose-based Figure AI partnered with real estate giant Brookfield to capture footage from inside 100,000 homes. What a trip that people agreed to that. It will collect data about human movement to teach humanoid robots how to move in human spaces. The company said it will spend much of the $1 billion it recently raised to collect first-person human data. Think about that. That's stunning. $1 billion to train their robots. Meta-backed Scale AI has collected 100,000 hours of similar training footage for robotics through its prototype laboratory set up in San Francisco. Now, that's a whole different thing, right? There's no total invasion of privacy attached to that. Still, training robots isn't always easy. 20-year-old Dev Mandal created a company in Bengaluru hoping to cash in on the need for physical data to train AI. He offered India's inexpensive labor to capture movements. After advertising his services, he got requests to help train a robotic arm to cook food, as well as a robot to plug and unplug cables in data centers. But he had to give up the business as potential clients needed the physical movement data collected in a very specific manner, making it tougher for him to make money, even with India's inexpensive labor. So that is what we were talking about earlier with the very, very specific training down to labeling individual movements for this to work. Still, there's lots of work for the towel folders in Karur. Their boss, ObjectWay's founder Ravi Shankar, says that in recent months his firm has captured and annotated footage of robotic arms folding cardboard boxes and t-shirts and picking out certain colored objects on a table. It recently started annotating videos from more advanced humanoid robots, helping train them to sort and fold a mix of towel and clothes, folding and placing them on different corners of a table. His team had to annotate 15,000 videos of the robots doing the jobs. Sometimes the robot's arms throw the clothes and won't fold properly. Sometimes it scatters the stack, but the robots are learning quickly, said Cavan, 27, an ObjectWay's employee who goes by one name. In 5 or 10 years, they'll be able to do all the jobs and there will be none left for us, he said. So there's the reality of it, folks, and I'm glad they admitted to it at the end. Obviously, AI is exponential. AI learns from bigger and bigger data sets. As millions and millions of robots start to work in factories, warehouses, retail, restaurants, etc., they're going to start to learn quickly. So it is just a matter of time before these things are completely autonomous. Anyone who says anything different is not being honest about what's coming. So what does that mean for you? It means find jobs that will take the longest to automate those requiring the human touch. See many of my previous videos that talk repeatedly about what those jobs are. What do you think? Drop your comments below. Do you agree with this? Do you think that robotics is moving towards remote control, or is robotics moving towards full autonomy? Give us your thoughts and what you think the impact is going to be on ordinary folks and their work. Thanks so much for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, and share. It really helps with the algorithm. Also, please support us on Patreon. We're getting more support and it's starting to really help. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time. Take care.